report explores the critical legal aspects affecting tourism and hospitality, including liability, contracts, employment laws, consumer protection, and environmental regulations. By examining these key areas, we aim to highlight the importance of legal complaints and its impact on business operations within this sector. Our analysis seeks to provide a comprehensive understanding of how legal frameworks shape the responsibilities and challenges faced by hospitality and tourism professionals. In the subject of legal aspect in tourism hospitality, we are assigned to discuss the Module 8 entitled Hospitality at Work. Hospitality at Work from a legal perspective in the tourism hospitality industry focuses on the obligations and regulations that protect both employees and guests. These legal frameworks ensure that safe working conditions, fair treatment of workers, guest safety, and compliance with various operational laws, which are essential for the ethical and legal operation of business in this field. Module 8, we have 8 classification of the employees. The first one is special workers. What special workers means? This means are those workers who need special or extra support to fulfill their role or jobs. This qualification of the employees has 3 sectors, which is the apprentices, learners, and handicapped workers. What means apprentices? These typically work under the guidance of experienced professionals to develop specific skills related to their jobs, such as cooking, customer service, or hotel management. They also undergoing mentoring, formal education, and certification. This certificate is given when they done all the qualifications for a big role or when they capable for workforce according to their lines. While learners under the Article 73 Labor of Code of the Philippines are individuals who are engaging with training programs, skill development, and mentoring, which can help them find their full potential and skills through education or life experience to prepare them in the future. On the other hand, under the Article 79 Labor Code of the Philippines, handicapped workers refers to individuals with disabilities who are employed in the hospitality industry under special programs designed to support their inclusion in the workforce. These programs aims to provide accommodations and training to help them succeed in various roles. Pwede rin sila sa front desk staff, housekeeping, and food services. Minimake sure lang nito na lahat ay nabibigyan ng halaga kahit sa iba't ibang kakayahan at makatanggap ng sapat na suporta at training. Number 2, casual employees. What this means? This means are the employees who are employed on a flexible basis, usually with no assurance of consistent work schedules or permanent employment. They are usually used in different kinds of fields, including hospitality, for temporary or seasonal jobs. In short, they are workers often hired when needed or had something to accomplish from the given work. Example, retail associates kapag may mga orders or demands, malaking demands, kailangan sila, graphic designer, a server or a bartender who picks up shifts during busy weekend or special events. Delivery rider, kapag kailangan na may magdi-deliver, i-hire sila. But they are not permanent. They are just temporary.
Specific project or seasonal employees. First, project employees. Individuals with a fixed employment for a specific project, of which the employer specified the duration and scope at the engagement time. Second, seasonal employees. Workers employed for tasks or activities that are seasonal in nature, and their employment is limited to the duration of the season. There are 2 seasons in the hospitality industry. First, peak season, the time of the year when a lot of people travel and prices are usually at their highest. Some travel companies offer deals even the peak season. Second, lean season, the period between harvests that leads from May to August.
Probationary employees means those new regular and relief employees who occupy established position for a probationary period of 60 scheduled working days in the same position and whose employment may be terminated at any time during the probationary period with 1 day notice.
Regular employees are persons who perform activities which usually necessary or desirable in the usual business trade of the employer. Sila yung mga tao na nagtatrabaho sa company, mapa full-time or part-time na may regular schedule. May nakalaan sa kanila ng bilang ng oras ng kanilang pagtatrabaho every week or every month. At may mga makukuha rin silang benefits gaya ng healthcare insurance, paid off, and retirement plans.
Managerial employees, their primary duty consists of the management of the establishment in which they are employed or of a department or subdivision. It explains that the person is mainly managing the whole establishment or a specific department within it. This job usually involves different management tasks like planning, organizing, leading, and controlling resources to ensure the organization. They customarily and regularly direct the work of 2 or more employees therein. It says that the person in question regularly supervises and manages the work of at least 2 employees within the establishment or department. This supervisory role usually involves giving advice, assigning tasks, and making sure that the team meets its global and follow organizational standards. Leading others' work shows that the manager has authority and responsibility. They have the authority to hire other employees of lower rank, the suggestion and recommendation, to hiring and firing and promotion or other change of status of other employees are given. It shows that the person has the power to hire and fire employees of lower rank. Also, their suggestions and recommendations. Regarding these decisions, as well as promotions or other changes in employee status are taken seriously by the organization. Section 2B of Rule 1 Book 3 of the Rules Implementing the Labor Code shows how important their role is in the management and operation of the establishment.
Number 7. Domestic servants in persons. In the personal service of another are those who perform services in the employer's home, which are usually necessary or desirable for the maintenance and enjoyment. Domestic servants in persons is individuals who work directly in the employer's residence, distinguishing them from their other types of work, who may provide similar services outside the home. Their task is cleaning, cooking, caregiving, and other domestic duties. Example of domestic servants in persons is housekeeper, nannies, maids, babysitter, nurses, and more. In short, the OFWs or the Overseas Filipino Workers. Section 2D, Rule 1 of the Rules Implementing the Labor Code. This gives the rights of domestic workers, ensuring they receive fair treatment and benefits under labor laws. It also aims to clarify the status of domestic workers within labor regulations, highlighting their role and the need for protection in the employment relationship.
Number 8. Field personnel refers to non-agricultural employees who regularly perform their duties away from principal place of business or branch office of the employer, and whose actual hours of work in field cannot determine with reasonable certainty. Section 27, Rule Number 2, Book 3, Rules Implementing the Labor Code. Ang field personnel ay mga tao sa kumpanya o organisasyon na nagtatrabaho at iginugugol ang kanilang oras sa labas, lalong-lalo na sa mga customer area. Pumupunta sila sa mga iba't ibang lugar para mag-conduct ng survey, mag-interview, mag-collect or kumuha ng mga datos o impormasyon ng kanilang mga kliyente or customers. Nag-iimbestiga din sila at marami pang iba. Letter B, Constitutional Right of Workers. Number 1, Right to Self-Organization. Ito ay nagbibigay daan sa mga manggagawa na magtatag at magpatakbo ng mga samahan upang maprotektahan ang kanilang mga karapatan at interes. Ang mga samahan na ito ay maaaring mag-organisa ng mga aktibidad at kampanya upang ipaglaban ang mga karapatan ng manggagawa tulad ng pagtaas ng sahod, pagpapabuti ng kondisyon ng trabaho, at pagtanggol sa mga manggagawa laban sa pang-aabuso at diskriminasyon. Pangalawa, right to collective bargaining. Ito ay tumutukoy sa karapatan ng manggagawa at nagbibigay daan sa mga manggagawa na magkaisa at mag-organisa upang makipagnegosasyon sa mga employer at makamit ang mga kondisyon ng mga trabaho at mga benepisyo na nais nila. Number 3, right to security of tenure. Ang mga manggagawa na magkaroon ng seguridad sa kanilang trabaho at hindi madaling makasuhan o mawalan ng trabaho. Ang mga employer ay kinakailangang magbigay ng sapat na dahilan at proseso bago sila makapagkasuhan o makapagkawala ng trabaho sa kanilang mga manggagawa.
Number 4, right to just and humane conditions of work. So here, employers are required to provide a safe and healthy working environment to employees in order to promote their physical and mental well-being. Example of this is providing a comfortable workplace to the employees para maganda ang kanilang performance, at saka other one is magandang pakikisama sa mga employees in order to boost their confidence and work skills. Number 5, right to collective negotiation. Employees have the right to negotiate with the employers as a union for a better term. It includes pay, benefits, leave, job health, and safety policies.
Number 6, the right to peaceful concerted activities allows workers to organize, strike, and engage collectively for their interest, protected by the National Labor Relations Act and the First Amendment. The right to strike is the legal ability to workers to stop work to advocate for better conditions or wages, protected under the National Labor Relations Act and interpreted as part of free speech and assembly rights. The right to a living wage is the principle that workers should earn enough to meet basic living expenses, supported by various state and federal laws. The right to participate in the policy and decision-making allows workers to engage in discussions and influence workplace policies, supported by principle of democracy and labor rights, but not explicitly outlined in the Constitution. The right to just share the fruits of production refers to workers' entitlement to fair compensation and benefits from their labor, reflecting principles of equity and fairness, though not explicitly protected by the Constitution.
Employer rights. There are 3 types of employer rights. Number 1 is the reasonable return of investment. Employer has the right to expect a good performance to their employees, contributing into the success of the company, being loyal to the company, and making sure that the rules and regulations are followed by the employees. In this way, employer can assure that the company's system can run in a good condition. Number 2 is expansion and growth. The employer has the right to expand and flourish its business to its limits. There are many ways an employer can expand its business, like partnership, hiring more employees, putting branches all over the country, and buying new equipments for ease and better service, improving the service, and identifying new customers, and many more. So number 3 is exercise management prerogative. Here, the employer has the right to create rules and regulations sa kumpanya nila. In this way, madidisiplina nila ang kanilang employees para sundin ang mga dapat gawin and mga hindi dapat gawin. So, pag may mga employees na hindi sumunod sa mga rules and regulations sa kanilang company, the employer can warn them and they have also the right to terminate them. Termination of employer. Employee relationship. An employer cannot terminate the service of an employee except for just and authorized cause. Article 279, 282, and 284. So, hindi dapat basta-basta pwedeng sisantihin ng employer ang kanyang employee ng walang rason or dahilan. Hindi porke hindi niya gusto ang employee is sisantihin na siya. Dapat meron siyang guide or base para sisantihin ang kanyang employee. Example of that is yun nga, yung rules and regulations sa kanilang company. If the employee disobey the rules many times, then pwede na siyang masisante ng kanyang employer. On the other hand, the employee may terminate without just cause. Employment relationship be serving a written notice on the employer at least 1 month in advance. So here, pwedeng masisante or ma-terminate ang isang employee not based sa not based on the just cause or mga ginagawa niya, but in a ways that tapos na ang kanyang contracts, ang job position na yan ay hindi na available or kaya na-replace na by some machines or equipments. And it is given to the employer at least 1 month in advance.
Or commits serious misconduct or willfully disobeys or employer of the representative, grossly and habitually neglects and their duties, commits fraud, breaches trust placed in them by their employer or their representative, crime against the employer, their immediate family, or their authorized representative.
D. Authorized causes. The termination of employment contract is allowed by the law since it recognizes the right employers to legitimately decrease labor costs and other circumstances inevitable in the management of business. The following are the authorized causes of the termination of employment contract. 1. Redundancy exists when the service of an employee are in excess of what is reasonably demanded by actual requirements of the enterprise. First is redundancy. Redundancy happens when a company has more employees that needs to do its works. This means that some employers are doing jobs that could be done by fewer people or that their skills aren't fully utilized. For example, imagine a small bakery with 3 bakers. If the bakery only needs 2 bakers to make all the bread and pastry they sell, the third baker is redundant. Their skills are not being fully used, and the bakery is paying for an employee whose services aren't really needed. 2. Retrenchment reductions in the workforce. To forestall business losses or stop the hemorrhaging of capital. Mass termination. The reduction of costs employed for a job or spending in response to economic difficulty. It is a strategy that companies use to prevent further financial losses by reducing their workplace. This involves laying off employees, cut costs, and stabilize the business during the economic difficulty.